Saturday live on Dublin's easy place to relax.
Sunshine 106.8. Sunshine 106.8.
Delighted to welcome back angelic healer and teacher Debbie Boyle as we continue our fascinating series on the chakras. Chakra meaning wheel in Sanskrit. It's thought that there's about 114, but there are 7 main ones. And they're also thought to be spinning discs of energy that really connect with and affect our emotional and physical well-being. This month we are concentrating on the 3rd chakra, the solar plexus. So Debbie, as I said, delighted to have you with us. Tell us, what is the solar plexus, how it affects us, and how we can keep it in balance?
Thank you, Carol, and lovely to be back with you again. The solar plexus is a very powerful part of the body, and that will be the word we would use, power, our own power, being empowered. It's situated just above the belly button and below the ribs, in that area there. The element that's connected with it would be fire, and it's all about our self-esteem, confidence, the willpower, commitment. It's a really, really important part. It is more powerful than every other chakra combined. If you can imagine that, like, the energy within you is like the sun in the sky. If there was no sun, there would be no life on earth. If there was no energy in your solar plexus, there would be no life in your body. So it promotes and gives energy to all that you do. When I'm working with people, say if I'm doing a healing or when I'm in classes, everybody that I come across, and myself included, will all be sometimes off balance within our solar plexus. We often feel stress, tension, anxious and afraid in this part of the body. If something is infringing upon our own power, if we're feeling undermined, if we're feeling bullied, if we're feeling manipulated or afraid, we will often feel it here. And it's an area that we all could do to work on. When harnessed in alignment with the rest of you, it is very, very powerful in motivating, in supporting transformation, in your self-confidence, in your own purpose, in a sense of responsibility. So it does encourage you to really align to your truth.
So let me ask you this then, Debbie. Is it something that we should be very conscious of, say, even on a daily basis, to be aware of it and to be aware that we're doing something consistently to make sure that it doesn't get blocked? Because I'd say for many of us, I mean, we wouldn't even be aware that that's what the problem is. And maybe it sounds to me that this is something that we really need to be a lot more conscious of.
Well, the thing is, everybody, this is one thing just to bear in mind. Never ever worry if you do, and I do agree with you, yes, to be aware of it would be a good thing, but every single person, by the very nature of the world we live in and all the fears that are around us, the things that are happening in different parts of the world and in our own lives, every one of us may have things that we need to work through in relation to feeling empowered. And that's very, very normal and very natural. There will be times in our lives when we feel very triggered, when maybe things within our own family units or within our own workplace or within our own selves is causing us to feel a little bit less powerful or insecure, or our self-esteem is not where it should be. You know, we're not feeling the sense of, you know, really being in our power. And this is very normal. So every one of us will have work to do in this part of our body at some point. And it's something not to worry about at all. It's something that does really and truly respond very well to techniques and practices that encourage a sense of calm and a sense of peace, such as meditation, yoga, mindfulness, whatever it is that you feel drawn to. And it's not only for the solar plexus, every single part of us. Normally, if there's a part of us out of kilter, other parts of us are out of kilter as well. So we're always trying to bring ourselves back into, but it does really, really help if we were to do a visualization. For example, what I find amazing and really does work for me anyway, would be if I feel, and normally if I'm feeling stressed or tense, I'll have a knot in my stomach. Some people may get digestive issues if they've ongoing stress in their lives. Some people may have a sense of nervousness, anxiety, feeling fearful or low, a little bit down in themselves, or just not very happy or confident within themselves or within a certain part of their lives. But what I find is really, really potent and really helps is visualizations. Now, I work with the angels, but you don't have to. Just sit quietly. allocate a time. It's really important you allocate a time just for yourself. Let yourself breathe slowly and deeply, and knowing as you do so that even just by the mere fact that you've given yourself a period of time just to reconnect back to yourself, that's simply all you need sometimes. And that in itself is worth so much more to the healing process of what's going on within you. But if you were to imagine a beautiful yellow color, which is the color of the solar plexus, so if you're to sit there and visualize, imagine, or feel the energy of a beautiful yellow color shining down through you and breathing this color in, like consciously giving yourself permission to breathe that gorgeous yellow light right down into your body. And as you breathe out, to feel it releasing the tension, the worry, the fear, even if that is related to something outside of you. And what I mean by that is if you are tense or afraid because of an ongoing issue, situation, scenario, or relationship, and maybe you feel you're triggered because of that, as you sit and you do this exercise, you see that golden, gorgeous yellow light swirling around inside you, dissolving any heavy, toxic, fear-based energies, and even shining out from you into the areas of disturbance or an issue or stress, and dissolving it there. It may seem very simple, but it's actually incredibly powerful, because it's our thoughts that align us to where we're going and where we're at and how we feel about ourselves. So even to do that for 10 minutes would be an incredible, powerful thing to do.
And I no doubt that there are crystals that you would suggest that we might incorporate as well, powerful crystals of which you are an expert. So what would be your suggestion that we could utilize here?
Yeah, the ones I would particularly be very fond of would be the Citrine crystal. It's a really gorgeous kind of a yellowy, sometimes a clear yellow crystal. It's quite potent.
Isn't that a crystal for abundance as well?
Yeah, that's exactly it. In Feng Shui, if you were standing with your back to the front door, people would place it at the far left-hand corner of their homes to attract abundance and prosperity. So it's a fabulous crystal. It's a general all-rounder when it comes to the solar plexus area. It helps to transform negative thoughts to positive thoughts. It's brilliant for supporting any issues you have with family or interpersonal relationships. It can help you attract love and happiness. And if you were to place it, say, in an office space or in a home space, a nice big enough chunk of it, when the sun shines in it, it can help disperse any negativity around in the air. The only thing to be mindful about the citrine crystal is it's quite rare. So unfortunately, dealers are likely to have cooked, and I know this sounds mad, but cooked an amethyst crystal until it looks like a citrine. So a lot of the citrine that are out there in the shops are not actually real. Well, they are real. They're amethysts that have been cooked.
But they're not as powerful.
Well, they can be quite damaged.
So how do you know then, Debbie? How do you know that you've got a good one?
Well, sometimes you'll see. Sometimes it'll actually look like it's been cooked. It'll actually look a little bit burnt.
It looks a bit burnt. Right?
Yeah, it does. But it's very hard to tell. But I mean, if you still get a lovely charge of your crystals when you're working with them, but then keep working away. It's only if you get a vibe or you just don't feel a connection with it, then listen to your intuition as well in relation to that. Another crystal that would be really good, and I love it, is the amber. Promotes protection. It's an amazingly protective crystal. It helps to support releasing disease physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The same color, say, as the solar plexus. It's that lovely kind of clear yellow color. The yellow agate is the last one I'll mention. And that one's really soothing and calming. It enhances mental function, improves concentration. It's really good for reducing stress and worry, which is one thing we carry in our solar plexus a lot of the time, and replaces anger with calmness and peace.
And just a question for anybody, perhaps maybe they're just joining us for the first time. Are you just suggesting it's just okay to have crystals, say, in your room, in your home, or are they something that you should carry with you all the time?
Well, no, all around. If you feel drawn to crystals, even if you don't know much about them, you're only beginning to look into it, they're fabulous to have, like, to invest in a lovely piece of crystal for a place in your home. They look beautiful. When you work with them, they also are amazing at amplifying certain frequencies, certain vibrations. As, say, for example, the piece of citrine in the far left-hand corner of your home, it looks lovely. If you can't, like, it's quite pricey as well. So even getting a little tumblestone and planting it in a plant on the far left-hand corner of your home, it could be what they call a money plant. Any plant that has a roundy end stemmed to the leaf is very good for that point in your home. That's what they say. I'm not in Feng Shui person, but as in I'm not an expert, but I do have a big graw to this. Would be really good. But yeah, placing them in certain parts of the home, in the heart of the home, the home that's where you are most present with your family. A piece of crystal that would be really drawn to you, like a rose quartz or a citrine amethyst, that you feel a very big connection with, is a lovely added extra to that part of your home as well.
Okay, and just finally then, we must bring in the angels. I know you referred to angels because you are, after all, an angelic healer and teacher, and you work very closely with angels. So which archangel would we call upon for help if we're trying to unblock the solar plexus?
I would always work with, there's a few of them, but I work with Archangel Jophiel, 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 gorgeous angel, very much the radiance of, when you call in Jophiel, those that have an awareness that would see colours will always see a beautiful radiant golden yellow colour. Jophiel for me feels like sunshine energy, feels like joy, optimism, expansion. Is an amazing archangel to impart wisdom, to support maybe particularly the solar plexus, which sometimes because of everything we can feel quite down or low or scared or under pressure, and the Jophiel would be the opposite to all of those things. We'll have to lift the vibrations to lift the mood. It's a brilliant archangel, by the way, if you're wanting to declutter in your home or in yourself or wherever it would be. It's a great angel to call in, or for innate wisdom. Means beauty within as well as without. Do you know?
Yeah.
So as opposed to just focusing on, say, the materialistic, letting the beauty of what's inside be shown and be seen is a gorgeous one. And
I love that.
yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And I could talk about Jophiel all day, but I want to mention one more, is Michael, the Archangel Michael. Michael you can work with all the time. Michael's the angel of empowerment and protection, and sometimes seen as blue, purple or gold. And particularly if in this time in your life, things are quite embattled, if you feel abandoned, afraid, persecuted, disempowered, powerless, that archangel, oh my God, Michael is amazing to call in and will always stand in beside. Even if you've never called an angel before, even if this is all brand new and you're just listening, maybe just listening to see how it feels, I would invite anyone who would like to just to sit quietly, close their eyes and then call the angel 3 times and letting that gorgeous radiance build, shine and beam right down. Some people will feel the energy quite strong. Some people, it'll be so subtle, but yet you'll be left with a lovely sense of calm, peace, and support. So they would be the ones I would mention anyway.
How lovely. Absolutely lovely. All right, Debbie, thank you so much for that. As always, such a pleasure to have you on the show. And of course, if anybody wants to find out any more information, it's all on your website, angelicconnections.ie, and you have your workshops and your courses. Have you anything coming up that you'd like to share with us?
I'm doing a free summer solstice meditation on the 20th of June. I love that the summer solstice. That for me is a very, very potent and powerful time of the year.
It is.
And yeah, and it really is a very special time for connecting in and for setting your intentions. And with this, the theme, it'll be an angelic class, as I would normally do, but we're going to kind of set our intentions for 12 months ahead. So really work on what we want to bring in, what we want to let go of, and whatever help and support we need to get to where that may be.
So if anybody wants to find out any more information, it's all on your website too, at angelicconnections.ie. Debbie, a pleasure to have you back on with us as we continue our journey through the chakras. So we have 3 now. So next time around, we're going up. So the heart chakra.
The heart chakra, that's
the
right.
Chakra, the lovely chakra.
Oh, it's all about love. And sure, who doesn't want love?
Sure, it's all you need.
Oh.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'll look forward to chatting about that next month. Debbie, as always, a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you.